Hi Josh. I'm doing your reading first. There's actually quite a queue now of people who want to have a reading, so I'm a little nervous to do them all. But I started with yours because it felt the most familiar and comfortable to do. So I pulled some cards already just to save some time, because shuffling through the decks just takes a little bit of time. So I wanted to kind of think through the energies first. So I started with this deck, which is the one that I got with you in the thrift shop, with the major arcana, big cards that I got. And you got the Fool and the High Priestess. And to me, this is kind of saying, like, you know, you're on the precipice of this new journey, of taking this new step, of taking a risk, and starting like a new phase of life, like setting out on a new adventure, with a sense of kind of like starry-eyed exuberance for what's to come, and kind of some excitement for the future. And you've got your little companion dog here. You're not by yourself. You're going to be accompanied on this new adventure, but you aren't carrying too much with you at the same time. There's a little bit from your past that you're carrying with you, but for the most part, it's a fresh start, and there's a lot of potential for, just going down a new path. And the High Priestess is very much the mystic, or like the witch of the tarot, and she's very much about intuition and trusting your inner knowing. And I feel like this change that you're going through with this new beginning, with the Fool, is something that you've kind of known for a long time is what you've needed, and you've kind of just had this inner knowing and intuition that this is kind of the step forward for you. So this is kind of the energy that you're carrying, is this High Priestess energy, which is beautiful, that you're very in touch with your kind of inner world as well as the external world, and kind of seeing how the two of those kind of marry together. And I think that this is going to be a very positive change for you, and that you are, you know, in touch with what's going on the inside, which is very important. It keeps you aligned with what's happening externally as well. So those are kind of the major overarching themes here. I got quail and gooseberry, which is anticipation. And the message of this card is what you've been anticipating is right around the corner. You're almost there. The moment you've been waiting for is almost here. And I believe that from what I've heard from you is you've been working very hard to kind of get this new life set up for yourself, and you're almost there. Some of the other things that came up here, so let's see here. I'm going to take these ones first as the challenge that seems to be facing you. I don't know these energies, if these are external energies that you're dealing with, or it could be an aspect of yourself. But one is the drill sergeant, so you kind of know like how a drill sergeant, you know, functions, is they are very, there's a lot of structure. There's not a lot of room for compromise or for nuance, and, you know, caring if someone's having not the best day. Like, it's very strict and structured and a little bit unforgiving. And, you know, this energy could be something you're leaving behind. It could be something that you have been dealing with, or it could be a part of yourself even that's like, you know, maybe being a little bit too hard on yourself and trying to get things done in a certain way in a certain amount of time, and not really giving yourself enough kind of forgiveness or gentleness on yourself, in kind of getting all of these things together for this new phase of your life. The other one that came up here is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And I was just refreshing on this, what this one means. It's because the Queen of Pentacles typically is a provider. she's like the mother of the material world, always having like, you know, a hot meal to provide, or like, you know, if you need a pair of socks or whatever, like she's the one who always is like very nurturing and providing what is needed materially for somebody to be comfortable. And in reverse, you know, it can indicate financial stress. It could indicate someone being self-absorbed, smothering, kind of over-parenting, overindulgence. There could be some work-home imbalances or some materialistic kind of ideals. So I'm not sure which of those kind of fits into your story. I know you've been having some issues with your ex, so it kind of made me wonder if some of this energy could be coming from her. And it's like, just the way you've described her, there could be a bit of like self-absorbed energy of kind of coming in and trying to take from you, rather than provide to you these things that you need, but kind of taking advantage of what you do have and seeing how they can kind of weasel in and take advantage of some of those material comforts that you may have. So that's something to just watch out for and just protect your energy from. Just having a clear sense of boundaries and of, you know, equal giving and receiving. If there's no fair exchange with the energy of giving and receiving, then you're going to want to put up a boundary to protect yourself from this energy, because it may seek to kind of take control over you, or attempt to take control over you, or take advantage of what you have or what you have to offer. So just something to be aware of. So that's kind of what's challenging you. In terms of the advice, so I pulled these Pluto Oracle cards here. So I've got the Spider and the Pigeon. And Pigeon is very much about just kind of grounding yourself in the present moment and being aware of your surroundings. Really just making sure that your intention is aligned with your actions, and being very intentional about everything that you do, and just kind of taking things slow and just really, grounding yourself and feeling present in the moment. Whereas the Spider is more about the inner creator, the genius within, the potential to create, anything from this like seed of creativity. And I think that combined, these cards are kind of saying to kind of slow down, take stock, take a moment to kind of ground yourself and, recognize what your intentions are, what your goals are, and using that to align your creative genius within you to work towards those goals, and to see what other, ingenuity and creative ideas you can unlock when you're really living in the moment and not distracted by all these other things going on, but really focused on what you're doing and what you're trying to create. In terms of the outcome for you, I got the 8 of Wands, which is very much about fast-moving actions. This is something coming in very quickly for you, fast-moving energy. The 10 of Pentacles, which is a beautiful omen of a celebration, but of material success, a sense of stability, of security, of community, and just a fullness in your material world, and as it relates to your home, your your community, your family, those kinds of things. It's a celebration of success. So that's a really beautiful omen, as well as the star, which the star can be sometimes bittersweet, but I think in this case it would be very much just a joyful, hopeful card, kind of indicating that a period of difficulty is ending, that some of that has healed, that difficult time that you've been going through, and you're ready to kind of come out the other side, and with a new kind of renewed sense of hope and excitement for life. The other card I got for you was Transmute. So I think any difficult energies you're going through right now, it's an opportunity to take those energies, do some alchemy, and transmute the difficult, challenging emotions into something positive, into something that you can work with, into something creative, that little spider genius can work on, and rather than getting too bogged down by the difficulty, but finding ways to kind of turn things around and see how you can take advantage of difficult situations to find inspiration to create something better. And I think that should be a main focus for you, is just, figuring out how to transmute some of the more difficult energies, some of these challenges that you're facing, and turn them into something positive. Okay. Oh, and the last one that I wanted to read, because I really actually liked what the book had to say about this one. So, it's The Great Mother. Surrender to the mystery. Surrender to the mystery and trust. The Great Mother ushered you in when you first took your breath, and she'll be there when you draws your last. She knows how challenging life on earth can be, that at times being human can be painful, lonely, and confusing, that the polarity and separation can be difficult when your soul remembers the oneness of Source, but at the same time it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. We often see things as either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean that everything's okay, and when things don't work out, then perhaps we've done something wrong or we have something to fix. We've forgotten that life on Earth isn't like that. Polarity is at the core of the Earth's experience, and it's through the polar extremes that we grow the most. We are not meant to avoid the night, the shadow, and the winter. This life is but a single breath in the inextinguishable essence of your experience as a soul. Hand over your worries, hurt, sorrow, fears, and doubts to the Great Mother. Lay them at her altar. Return to the sureness of the soil. Fall fully into her arms. Surrender to the mystery woven through it all. Remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. That unrestrained joy is closer to grief than we think. And perhaps the more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more you can say, I have truly lived. I am ready to embrace the extremes of my life. I lay all that I am carrying onto the altar and fall into the Great Mother's arms. So a real theme around surrender and letting go, and transmuting some of those difficult, extreme emotions or difficult times into something that can be used for good. Like a compost for your feelings. Okay. Alright. Is there anything else? Soul work. So what you're working on right now, it is part of your soul work. It is on your soul path. It's something you're here to learn and to grow into as your life progresses, and everything you do now is working in favor of your soul's like greatest lessons in this life. So if it's not easy right now, understand that it's not meant to be, and there is, beauty from the struggle, and that's what I feel when I see the Star card. Is a lot of this card can be surrounded by some difficult emotions, because it's what happens right after the Tower, after the destruction and upheaval. But the Star is kind of the first twinklings of renewal and healing and hope after such a difficult time. And I think just trying to harness this energy of the Star and finding that inspiration when it comes to see something beautiful in what might otherwise be a difficult situation is just the greatest gift. When we can notice it, when our awareness is tuned, when we're in the present moment, and we're able to kind of acknowledge the potential beauty in situations that may otherwise seem shitty. So that's transmutation, and that is your soul work. So I think that's everything I have for you. I hope that helped. And I hope you're having a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you soon.